She's
Yay.
here.
Yay.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Hi.
that's excellent.
Hi.
This is my first in this format, so I was struggling a little bit there.
That's okay.
I'm just excited.
Tonya!
Jessica!
I heard you talk about how we do go back to 2009. Yeah, I published my first book in 2007 about video and the internet. And the thing that it said on the back of the book was, stop pretending you know what you're doing, period. No one does.
That's true.
At that point in time, YouTube wasn't a household name. So my clients were saying, hey, I need you to send me this video over email. And I was like, dude, how do you send a video over email? I don't know how to do that.
How
And
funny.
so I started doing a bunch of research, and there was no books out there about it. I wanted to read the comprehensive manual to marketing with video on the internet, but it simply didn't exist. So I wrote the book.
All right.
So I'm so excited you're here, Jessica, because I just remember our early days. I remember, I came back from Women Communication celebrating 100-year 2009. We were in Brickell. You were there. We were talking about your work and some of the things you were doing, and then you did a class for us. And I can go on and on all the great things you've done. But let's go ahead and start the space. And welcome to Women in Communication Monday Morning Empower Yourself Monday. So, Jessica, I'm so happy you're here. So before we start, we usually do a breathing mindfulness exercise, and Terry Michael is going to lead off. And then while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and tweet out and let people know we are live now. And again, we are live and also live streaming on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter Live, YouTube. And so if you grab the mic, just know that you're being recorded and the information is being distributed through social network. So the mic is yours, Terry.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Okay. Whether you're standing up, laying down, sitting down, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Another one, inhale. Exhale. One more time, take a deep breath in. And exhale. Relax your face. Relax your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Visualize the stress going down your arms and out through your fingertips. Relax your chest, your torso, your hips. Visualize the stress going down your legs, out through your toes, and you're completely relaxed. And as you're sitting there, you're just gently breathing in and out through your nose. Whatever thoughts come in your mind, allow them to just float away like clouds in the sky while you visualize your breath breathing in and out through your nose very gently. And you can go ahead and slowly, gently open your eyes. And I have closing thoughts for this meditation. May your heart sing and your soul rejoice. Experience the wonder of life. Celebrate all that is good and blessed about your life. Realizing that gratitude is a powerful remedy. Appreciating your blessings increases the vitality of your life force. Namaste. May the divine in me honor the divine in you. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. I think even Brent even tells me he looked forward to this. When he wasn't
Aw.
feeling great, Brent's like, I'm going to listen to all the Terry's breathing exercises on your Empower Yourself Monday. And again, this is our episode 28, ladies. So, with that in mind, I've been trying to like get Jessica on because I feel like when I think about women in communication, South Florida chapter, I think of Jessica. I think about her journey and how we met. And then here we are in 2022. And Jessica, I'll always remember how we met and how you are such one of the most empowering women in South Florida with all the different things you do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read your bio. I just took it off your website because I just kind of like, and you know, you've done so much and like the bio that I grabbed from your website, it was just, I don't think it even touches, even though it has a lot on it. I mean, there's a lot, you've done a lot, but I wanted to go ahead and read it out and then we can share some more and get updated to where you've been and what you've been up to. Cause I think you've been doing a lot especially with your filming for good. I just love it. So here we go. So with her unique experiences telling stories with video, Jessica Kizorek teaches nonprofits and entrepreneurs to use multimedia inside websites, social platforms, apps, and ebooks. She is a futurist, constantly encouraging clients to deepen emotional relationships online. Since 2001, Kizorek was developed a presence for herself domestically and abroad. As an entrepreneur and international activist, her company, Parrot Productions, was co-founded in 2001 with her father, Bill Kizorek, working primarily with large nonprofits such as the AARP Foundation, Special Olympics, and Lions Club. She has created hundreds of short films and video-centric fundraising campaigns. Having a documentarian, venturing onto the front lines of such efforts as education in Pakistan's largest refugee camp, World Women's Day in Nepal, and Fair Trade Farming Initiative in Ghana. A large chunk of this work, including the airline miles to fly their crew worldwide, is donated by the Kizorek family. As a diplomat representing the U.S., Jessica travels the world empowering millennial women to enter the workforce and start businesses. She facilitates this mainly through an organization she founded in 2010 called Badass Businesswomen. As a women's empowerment specialist by the U.S. Department of State and a small business expert by Fox News, Jessica speaks out to international audiences about the art of modern businesses in a digital world. Her production company covers many issues through female entrepreneurialism, is the cause closest to her heart. Kizorek has written 8 books, many focusing on marketing with videos on the internet. Make them beg. A digital video educational product line designed to teach female entrepreneurs how to create an irresistible personal brand that won first place in Miami Herald's Business Plan Challenge. Magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa, graduate of the University of Colorado Boulder with a degree in international business, guest lecturer at Princeton, UC Berkeley, University of Michigan, University of Miami, and Miami Ad School. She has also appeared as a guest on major news outlets such as Fox, NBC, CNN, Weekend Today, and The Better Show. Kizorek is an elite athlete. At one point, she was ranked second in the United States in the track cycling and second in Chicago for tennis. She is a poet, singer, songwriter, and fine artist with a collection of over 30 canvases covered with calligraphy, electrified lights, and shattered mirrors. And then I want to go on to like filmmaking for good, but Jessica, I think you've done quite a bit here. How are you? How you been? Welcome. Hey, Jessica, you just have to hit the mic.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Tonya, it's Jessica and everybody else listening. I was excited to, get your text over Facebook, Tonya, about what you were doing, and as always, you're being a leader in the community and making people's lives better through your activism and running AWC. I mean, I've always looked up to you, and you have like one of the best Black books in Miami, as far as I'm concerned. You know everybody, girl. So, yeah, I do have a sort of a long career path. I'm celebrating. I think one of the reasons you contacted me was because this year is my 20th year in business. And I've been posting on social media and doing a small campaign to people who have helped me along the way. But for 20 years, I've been doing video production services. And at first I started doing services for anyone, could be an association. It could be attorneys for a law firm, a nightclub, a hotel, you name it. I've done videos, weddings, all of that stuff. But it wasn't until about 17 years ago that we did our first international shoot for a nonprofit, and we did it as a pro bono piece of work. But when we got back, we were in Thailand, and we shot all these, these poor like street kids that were like homeless and like sniffing glue and were victims of sexual assault and having to do sex work. And I mean, it was very intense subject matter that we were filming in Thailand back in 2005. And when we brought the video back, we edited it, we put music, we made it like a piece of artwork, and we showed it to the nonprofit organization that had sent us out there, and all of their staff cried. And I had this like aha epiphany moment where I was like, wow, like if we could do that for one nonprofit, produce a video like that moves people and gives them some way to articulate what they're so passionate about. Because those guys, it was a DC organization, Washington, DC organization with programs all around the world. And they can't send their donors to like the street corner in Thailand. They can't send a tour bus full of people to figure out what's going on the front lines of their organization. So, we have very compact crews, usually 2 to 3 people that go out into the field and capture these stories. A little bit like Vice style, I'd have to say, documentary, but sort of edgy and emotional documentary style. And I've been doing those kind of videos ever since. I love educating. As Tonya, you know this about me. I'm a big educator. Most of my early career, I spent educating professional women, specifically professional marketers or professional entrepreneurs who had to market their business. And I would do seminars through AWC, through South Florida Interactive Marketing Association, through, National Association of Women Business Owners, you name it, I've spoken at all of them. And I've really enjoyed that kind of education over the years. But my favorite group to work with is actually college students, because I feel like they're so open to learning, and they're in an environment where they want to learn, and they're in an environment where they want what they learn to contribute to their careers. And they're sort of still figuring out what kind of career they want. And I really, really, really enjoy telling my story of being back in college and deciding that if I could do anything if I had to get paid to do anything in the whole world, what would I do? Well, I would get paid to make short videos about awesome organizations all around the world. I didn't even know what awesome meant, at the time, and I also at the time, short was like 8 minutes. So times have changed, but as you could hear in my bio, I unless it bleeped out, I've been to over 60 countries so far. A lot of them doing journalism, video journalism. Some of them places that I love going back to time and time again. Like my favorite place on earth is Nepal, Kathmandu, Nepal. And so I find as many reasons as possible to go there. I've worked with multiple charities in Nepal. I sort of pick and choose my projects. If I want to go to Thailand and do a shoot in Thailand with my dad, then I get a list of 20 American organizations operating in Thailand. And we call all 20 of them and say, hey, we're willing to give you a matching grant. We'll pay for the airfare, for the hotels, for all our crew to actually go on site, and you guys pay for the editing. And then we've got a deal. So we do a lot of work like that, where we set up kind of infrastructure. But the project that I'm working most on, I'll say this and then I'll take a break and hand it back over to you, Tonya, is, my business is a service-based business, which is fine, but you sort of max out. There's a lot of research that shows that as an entrepreneur with no full-time staff, you sort of max out at a few $100,000 a year. My goal is really to transition into doing a product-based business And Tonya, I think you saw me back in the day do Badass Businesswomen and make them beg, where we had that course, an online course for women to build an irresistible personal brand so it's easier to sell. And we did that. That ended up being crucial inside of my learning for what I did next, which was this filmmaking for good. And instead of selling it to professional entrepreneurs, we're selling it to professors, schools, college students who use it sort of like a book in place of a book. It's like an interactive book, what has videos, reading, worksheets, and stuff like that. And I've worked through this project. I've worked very consistently with FIU, Florida International University. I've worked with Princeton. I've worked with York College of Pennsylvania. I've worked with Mount Mary University in Milwaukee, and the list goes on. We're now working with the Cinema Society of Zimbabwe. So we have like a really strong African connection at this point. We're also working in Nepal. So my goal right now is to really adopt more and more classrooms that can use our specific methodology for teaching students. And, on that note, I just finished with my master's degree at FIU in global strategic communications, and I'm starting my PhD next month at FIU to do a doctorate in business administration. So that's a little bit of my update, but you feel free to ask me any questions or ask me to elaborate on anything.
Wow, you've been busy. You you had that much time to go to school also?
That's right. I'm somebody who's better off busy.
I'm the same way. So Jessica, so I was really in awe with your filming for good. I was kind of like, and I know it kind of like it like brought together everything you've done, and we know Nancy, yeah, and so is Emily. Like and Nancy is another incredible woman that I want to also feature, but tell us about that process, because I went through your whole program, incredible courses. It's so like, I don't know when you designed these courses, but it's so today, because they say 2022 is like, I think they always say video is the thing, but now it's like so much more.
I know video's been the thing every year for like the last 15 years, but yeah. So the process with, and you're referring to Filmmaking for Good. So you did the Filmmaking for Good courses?
No, I actually dissected your website. That's why I was like, okay, let me share this.
There's a lot on our website. You can see it. Yeah. So I have been working on that since 2017. We got one of the things that I consider myself fairly proficient at is fundraising. Like, I actually like asking people for money in certain situations. And so I've been able to, we've raised, probably close to $250,000 from charitable donations, philanthropists and stuff, to build out that Filmmaking for Good platform and to get the word out there to a bunch. We did like a whole sales infrastructure with phone calling. We had a CRM. We were doing bulk emails, personal emails. So we're really interested in creating more opportunities, but Filmmaking for Good is basically like there's it's an online course that each student, let's say, I'll give you an example. In Nancy Richmond's classroom, she has 2 classes. In each class, there's 50 students. So she has a total of 100 students in social media marketing. What happens is that those 100 students, we send them a discount code. So instead of being $59 a piece, it's $39 a piece. They each pay $39. They get access to the training, all the worksheets, everything that's in the course. We have worksheets, we have instructional videos, we have sample videos to show. And this isn't a video making curriculum about anything. It's not like how to make a music video or how to do a satisfying video chopping up soap. It's not like that. It's like each student gets into groups. So let's say there's 5 people in one group. That means there's 20 groups of 5 students. And each of those 20 groups picks one social cause that they're interested. That could be homelessness, it could be mental health, it could be suicide awareness, it could be animal cruelty, it could be financial education, like all sorts of different causes and social issues. And then they make a short video between 1 and 2 minutes long about the issue that their group decided to tackle. And then at the end of the day, we have a screening where everybody watches everybody else's videos, and then we choose the winners. Every semester we have a $2,000 prize. So we are choosing the winners for this summer now, and that's all about that.
So my other big question is, have you looked into NFTs? Because
I have. I've talked to multiple people about the practical application of how do you create NFTs out of video content. And after probably like 5 different conversations about people in the industry, I haven't come to a conclusion yet.
So I've been sitting in NFT since February of last year, and I actually have a show called NFTs for a Cause. So, and then I have this virtual film festival that I'm co-hosting. Gino is the other one. We featured Web3 film crew, film movies being made, different ones. So I'll be happy to share you some of the information. It's all about the token. It depending on how you do it and your smart contract. It's like it will have to be another episode. You and I have to sit on the phone and talk a little bit about it. But I was looking.
Great. I'd love to get your advice.
Yeah, I would love to for you to. I don't know. It just seems like it's such a good fit for all, especially with all your content. I'm sure you have content that no one's ever seen because you shoot so much. So let's talk a little bit about Badass Businesswomen. I mean, I remember you guys hosting some big. I mean, you guys threw some good parties. Can we talk a little bit about that? I just remember
I like having that reputation. I like having that reputation. We did. So I was in a seminar at Landmark Education, and it was called the Money Seminar. And it was like once a week for 10 weeks, and you had different homework assignments. And basically the idea was to like examine your relationship to money. And I found myself being really uncomfortable about my relationship to money. And then particularly, I was uncomfortable socially about other people's money. And there's always this rule like, don't tell anybody what you make. Don't ask anybody else what they make. Don't ask anybody where they get their money. Don't ask how their revenues are doing. Don't ask what their income is. Don't ask what their gross revenue is. You know, so there's like all this secrecy around, especially with women, because we're so self-conscious about making less money than men that we're even less prone to share anything about our finances with anyone. And I was like, you know, if I'm a businesswoman here and the goal of business is to make money, why am I so embarrassed talking about money? Like, what's going on there? And so I decided that I really wanted to open up a conversation about making money through business and about being a successful entrepreneur, particularly like solopreneurs, people who are running small businesses that were, you know, a lot of my audience, some of them had corporate jobs and then were doing like a side hustle. Some of them had just their sort of very small business making less than $50,000 a year. And then you had other businesses that were making more than like $250,000 a year. But I wanted to bring people together with a similar attitude and psychographic, right? Which is why I chose the word badass businesswomen, because half the women who hear that run in the opposite direction. They're like, we don't want to be any part of whatever oxymoron crazy town that sounds like. So I get rid of all the people I don't want to be around. And then the other half of the people are totally magnetized by the idea. And they're like, yeah, I'm a badass too. I want to be part of this club. Like I would want to be part of the Badass Businesswomen Club. So it started out as sort of like a social club, and we would do workshops, seminars, cocktail parties. I really had a great time back in the day with Michelle Villalobos, who you know well. When she was running the Women's Success Summit, I was doing her keynote speech every year, and I was throwing cocktail parties and getting funding and having free liquor and all of that jazz. And we used to have, we would rent a giant pink Hummer limousine. So let me say that again. A giant pink Hummer limousine. And we would do portraits and stuff outside of the limousine. And it was like a big joke every year. We did it like 3 or 4 years in a row at the beginning. And then I was using a lot of my own money to fund things. And I sort of switched directions a little bit in the mid 2010s, like around 2015, to do more work with media advocacy. I wanted to impact businesswomen, but I was more interested in students. And so Badass Businesswomen sort of fell by the wayside. It's never stopped or ended or anything, but the last party we did was right before COVID. We had our 10-year anniversary. And I'll tell you what the date it was. It was February 13th, 2020. So we got under there by this hair of our skinny skin. Is that the saying? I don't know. But we got a party. We had about 250 people there. We had live music featuring all women. We had our giant pink stretch limousine. We had so many old friends. We had sponsors that came out. But I'm looking forward to hosting more events in the future. I'm actually in the middle of battling with the USPTO, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, to renew my trademark for Badass Businesswomen. So I'm in the process of that now. But nevertheless, that's a little bit about Badass Businesswomen. And we were on, and so everybody loved the name. A lot of people loved the name. So we were on a lot of news. We were on like CNN. We were on Fox, CBS, NBC. It was funny because Fox wouldn't put the words Badass Businesswomen up on the screen. They just put something like small business expert or something like that. My grandmother hated it. She's like, why are you using such a disgusting word to describe yourself? I was like, sometimes the older generations just can't get it. Oh, well.
Yeah, but the word badass now is just like everywhere. I mean,
I
like,
know, and now it's a really popular word, right? That was in 2010 that I came up with, and I loved, like, over the years looking at like magazine covers slowly adopt the word badass to be like the ultimate compliment for like a fiery, ambitious, successful woman.
No, I remember that. I remember, before you launched, you actually emailed me. We were talking about this. I think Julia Wakefield was part of you, like joined you too. Like all the women, all the Miami women were very much involved. And so, and I always like, when I think about all the different success stories that came out of South Florida, I think about, what you've done, you and Michelle, what you guys did with the Badass Women, like, I think that's incredible. And what the community you built and the empowerment. And I always remember that pink Hummer.
I know.
Oh yeah, in the room with the pink balloons with a whole bunch of You took some beautiful pictures. I'll tell you that.
Yes, we used to always have the step and repeat too. That was gangster. We had a professional photographer at every one of them. I was like, if there are no professional photographs, then it did not happen.
Doing a lot of projects. I know you're giving away a lot of different things for nonprofits. So what other stories? I know you did one. You had a case study with Nancy Richmond for her class at FIU. Yeah. Did you want to talk a little bit about that and how did the students do? And I thought that was really cool. By the way, I read that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Nancy is amazing. She's so smart, so funny. Nancy, and for all of you who don't know, Nancy Richmond, it's Dr. Nancy Richmond. She's a associate professor out of Florida International University, and she teaches in the business school, and she teaches, I think, like 4 courses a semester, but 2 of them are social media marketing. So she was, before she met me, I think we've been working together for about 3 years. So before she met me in 2019, She was just giving her students an assignment like, hey, make a video and good luck. Here's your team. And the videos came back horrible. Like, she's like, this is just embarrassing. They can't use these for their portfolio. The only person that's ever going to see these are me. It's not useful to like have them learn how to do it improperly. You know, there's so many things wrong with these videos. And so I was doing research at FIU before I met her with another gentleman who unfortunately has passed. His name is Dr. Moses Shumo. And Dr. Moses and we brought in a grant from a family foundation for $100,000. And we worked together for 18 months straight, developing what is now the sort of curriculum you're looking at, which is filmmaking for good. And to clarify too, it's not really meant for professionals. It's meant for students. You know, I don't know if you got that impression on the site, but it's really meant for ideal ages are like 13 to 23, basically, for our course. But after Dr. Moses died, I was really at a loss because we were in the middle of a project. I was very upset on so many levels that that he passed. And I just happened to be introduced to Dr. Nancy Richmond, and we were at a party one night. It was a birthday party, and I told her a little bit about what I did. She told me that she was a teacher. She's like, you have a course for students to help them make videos about social causes? And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what we have. And she's like, oh my God, I need you. So that was in 2019, and we've been working together ever since. But her students, her students have made a lot of videos. They've made over probably 150 videos at this point in time. And some of them are terrible, some of them are medium, and some of them are really good. And you never know who's going to be the star student. But they make, of all the topics they pick the most frequently, they pick mental health, which is interesting. Because we did this throughout COVID. So mental health is they get their own opportunity to pick whatever one they want. A lot of them choose like Biscayne Bay, like the environment or climate change or rising sea levels. And it's just fascinating to like see how they portray the issue, how they learn to have a voice, you know, how they learn to use their cell phone to have a voice in media. I mean, it's really powerful. So I love teaching. I end up going in at the beginning and I introduce myself. I introduce a little bit of my background. Then they watch me for like 5 hours on their phone or their laptop. And then I come back and I'm part of the judging committee and we give them feedback on all their videos. So Nancy and I have such a great relationship. She's, you know, someone who I really respect profoundly and love hanging out with her.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite humans. I taught. I was one of her guest speaker during COVID. I think that's when I was messing around. Was it? No, it was right after the shutdown. Something she invited me to speak, and I've been messing around with the snap filters and cameras and stuff. So I had the snap on, and the kids didn't even realize it because I was just like streaming and I'm talking to them. And then they realized like my glasses I had on were not my glasses. And then that started another conversation. But her classes are like so much fun. And she's so cool about it too. I really enjoy being there.
Yeah.
So what other things are you working on? We have about 15 minutes. Again, this is going to be cut up in snippets and distributed out to the internet. And we're putting it all together, upload into Spotify. But Jessica, what other things are you working on? I mean, I don't know do you have time for your personal? Do you have what else do you do for? Let's say what do you do for fun, Jessica?
Well, I just got back from a month-long trip up north. My parents have a house on a lake in northern Wisconsin. It's a 30-hour drive from here. So usually I divide it up into 3 days of driving. And so my dogs, I have 2 dogs. I'm like a huge dog person. I have a big giant schnauzer who's like 100 pounds and black, and she's laying on my feet right now. And then I have a little miniature schnauzer who's 9 pounds and like a little chocolate. She's like a little chocolate milk dud. And I love taking them for walks in the woods. Oh my gosh, be able to have the dogs off the leash is such an amazing thing, because there's, other than dog parks, there's no other place to have your dog off a leash where I live, at least in North Miami. Oh, another thing, I bought a house last year. I was lucky enough to find one that had not been put on the market, and I moved in and hung all my artwork, and I'm slowly making my house a home.
Wow, this must be different, especially from traveling so much over the years. And that's incredible, Jessica. Congrats.
Thanks.
So we have some few people in here. I want to say, I want to go ahead and give the mic to you. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer is the person, if you ever want to know anything about Web3 and the blockchain, she's the person. She's like, out of all the space hosts that I became friends with, she's one person that I always talk to, and she's always telling me about Web3 and all the different things. And she works with Social Media Club South Florida, Chris and Chris Hero and Christy Wells. So she works with them. They do a whole thing together. And then we have Leah. Hey, Leah. And then we have Angel Page. Hi, Angel. And Salmon. Hi, Salmon. So anybody want to grab the mic, you're welcome to, and come up and ask some questions. So how was it for you, Jessica, during the pandemic?
I feel like for the most part, the pandemic was pretty brutal for most people. And I had a completely opposite experience. I got a bunch of funding during COVID, and it allowed me to sit back and do a lot of creative work. Like, for instance, we did a lot of work on filmmaking for good. And so I was under contract getting a monthly stipend and getting all my expenses and my team paid for and everything else. So for like a year and a half out of COVID, I was just like banking, and I'm somebody who likes to be alone a lot. So for me, it wasn't strange to be in my house on my computer working on Skype with people. That's how I've run my business ever since my business started in 2001, was basically virtually. So it wasn't that big of a change, and I didn't face financial hardships the way that a lot of people did. And so I was able to get a lot of creative work done. Now is the opposite. I've like atrophied a little bit in my social skills. So I need to go out and be at events and be meeting people and networking event and all that jazz.
I know what you're saying. I feel like I'm losing my whole. We haven't really met either in person. We need to start coming out of our caves, as I call it. So, but I want to welcome Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. How you been?
Fabulous, fabulous. I love the topic. And I want to hone in on what Jessica said about the fact that when she titled it, Badass Women, that some people were either repelled by that or attracted to it like a magnet. And I think that's really key, because sometimes as business women, we think we need to have a business that's for everyone, because surely we want to do this for everyone. But the reality is, honing in on who your target market is, you can really, really do that by not just the name of your business, but the way that you present it. And I always like to think of this as, we all have our own unique spice and flavor, and people who like our spice and flavor will be attracted to us. And in that way, it's okay if there's people who don't like our spice and flavor. They are self-selecting themselves out, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's exactly. And it's a lesson I had to learn the hard way. And I've learned it in a couple ways. The example that you used is perfect with Badass Businesswomen. I've had friends that have like literally like looked down their nose at me for like using those words and being so rebellious. People see that word, and especially in the context of business, when I was doing this in 2010, I feel like especially, not to point out any organization in particular, but there were some that I was like, one particular women's organization that was so stuffy. The way everybody was dressed, the like skirt suits and the heels, and the whole thing was like out of Mad Men. Like, I was like, this is so old and antiquated, and I want fresh energy and young people and fresh breath of air, and people who are willing to go out on a limb and have energy and have ambition and have things they want to accomplish. So yeah, I learned it there. I also learned it in my video production company, because you can't be known for everything. You have to be top of mind for something. And so I've chosen to be top of mind for, video production for nonprofits. And that's what for instance, my website is very highly optimized for those search terms, nonprofit video production company. That's what I am out there trying to reel in terms of business and stuff.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, I think what that one, I mean, you said a lot of great things, but that one thing I think needs to be like magnified for the people in the back, and it needs to be on billboards and that kind of messaging, because it's very liberating and very freeing when we give ourselves permission to only attract the people who we want. And it's okay if half or even three-quarters of the world doesn't like what we're doing. If we hone in on those few people that do, there's the gold.
And Jennifer is speaking of, she's like, when I think about podcasting, I think the first person I think about now is Jennifer, because before I even met Jennifer, I just didn't even realize, podcasting been around this long. Jennifer, how long have you been in podcasting?
17 years.
Yes. So I feel like meeting of the minds right now. So Jessica, Jennifer, you guys need to meet each other.
Jennifer, you were dropping some gems there. You were dropping some gems.
Well, Tonya always seems to gather some of the most amazing folks that when I saw she was hosting the room, I'm like, I know I'm going to go in there and I'm going to find some people who are like, why aren't they in my life already? It's like, kind of like that shut up and take my money. It's like, shut up and connect with me, because, and it's true, every single time Tonya hosts a room, I find people, I'm like, why aren't they in my life already? So yes. Way to go,
why
Tonya.
don't, if that's kind of your personality, that's also kind of my personality. So maybe Tonya could connect us. Your face looks familiar. Have you ever heard of me? Have I met you?
I don't know. I mean, we may have shared stages in the past or at conferences or something.
Yeah, I feel like I can see your face looks familiar. But regardless, Tonya, could you connect us?
Yes, I'm going to connect you guys on Facebook, because we're
Great,
I feel like this way you're at most of the time, and Jennifer and I are friends on Facebook too. So I figured connect, and then with Chris and I don't. We'll have to talk about this offline, but they're doing this whole Web3 thing, and just bringing you on, and then I'm just thinking, I'm looking at all your content while we were like preparing for the space. I was reading up all your stuff that you sent me, and I was like, I'm like going, wow, her next thing, she needs to go into Web3. You have so much content, and you know so much, and you have a whole education platform behind you. So I think it'd be a great thing. And then Jennifer knows a lot about Web3, a lot. Actually, Jennifer does a lot. Aren't you working off a blockchain right now, Jennifer, as far as your content creation is?
Yeah, I am shifting more and more of my content as to Web3, or utilizing podcasting 2.0, which leverages Web3. Definitely. I mean, anything that we are doing, by the way, just as an aside, everything that all of us are doing as creators in the traditional web and on traditional social media can be done on Web3 or the blockchain. In the ownership and earning ability is built right in. You don't have to qualify. The moment you post your first post on day one, you can monetize. It's monetizable. So there's a real beauty there, which I think once creators understand that, they'll really be able to thrive and not wait to get 10,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours and all these kinds of things, because you're already qualified from the get-go. It's a beautiful thing.
Amen.
So it's about 8 minutes left. I want to go ahead and do some closing thoughts. So
Tonya, I think you're muted.
Oh no, I think did you hear me? I just want to know what any other upcoming project you're working on. Your Filming for Good is incredible. I pinned that up there. If anybody wants some more information, you can go ahead and tap on that link. It'll take you straight to her website to get more info. I think that's one project I was just wanting to get to know more, and I'm going to post some more about it and add it to the blog that we wrote about you. But any other project that you're working on?
Yeah. Well, what I'm working on this week is we have a nonprofit. It's called Eyes on Your Mission, and Eyes on Your Mission houses all of our philanthropic work. And each year we have a grant application process where we invite nonprofits from around the world, NGOs, whatever, to apply for free video production. And this year, the application closed last Monday, so a week ago, and we got exactly 100 applications. And so now we're going through all these amazing organizations that have these like plans for how they would love to get free video, and they have, what can you tell us? And they write a little essay, and then we pick the winners. So it's always a tough decisions, because I would like to get more and more funding to produce more and more videos out of these group of 100. So instead of like giving prizes to like 2 of them, we give prizes to like 8 of them or more. But that's what I'm up to now.
That's great. Yeah, I think it's doing. I think that's great.
We lost you, Tonya. Step back. What did you say?
It's my internet. Here we go. No, I was just saying that it's so important to amplify the voices of nonprofits, because it's, they're on such a limited budget, and the fact that you're doing that, I applaud you for that.
Yes, I'll take it.
So we have about 5 minutes. I want to go ahead and wrap up this space. Jennifer, thank you so much for popping in. I'm going to introduce we're going to do a group chat on Facebook chat, on Messenger. And Jessica, so any final thoughts before we let you go?
Nope.
No, you're good? Okay. And Emily, are you still there? I know she was dealing with some things happening. But Jessica, yeah, we'll talk some more about, like I every Wednesday at 12 p.m. I'm the co-host for this thing called Virtual Film Festival. So where we feature filmmakers that are in Web3 and the tokenizing, and how they're minting the NFT, and how they're doing this. So a lot of them made a lot of money, created a lot of tokens and different things.
Uh-huh.
But you have so much going on.
All right, great. No, I want to be invited to that, please.
Yeah, I want you to come into this way. You can ask some questions, and kind of it makes me like, and this way they can ask questions, you can ask questions, and then they can give you more info, because I'm not the one doing it. I'm just the person just running the live stream and empowering the people. Right. So, but
doing all the hard work.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. I like the producing part actually too. So, Emily, did you want to chime in for a second? I know you're busy. It's like 4 minutes.
I know it's been crazy over here, but I just wanted to say a big thank you to Jessica, because everything that you're doing sounds amazing and fascinating. And I'm so psyched to now know about you and have learned about what you're working on. And I'm going to check out all your stuff. So thank you for being here today.
All right. Great.
Emily, I can't believe you don't know Jessica. It's just like Emily's like part of the Miami crew too, Jessica.
Are all you guys in Miami?
No, we're actually in Palm Beach County, but Emily does she has a lot of clients in Miami. She's just
okay.
Yeah, I don't live down in Miami, but I have tons of clients down there, so I'm like back and forth, across Tri-County every week. Mm-hmm. So at some point we will have to run into each other, grab a coffee or something, and say hi.
I'm open. I've really got to get out of the house more often, please. I've been so afraid of COVID, and now I'm like, okay, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm just going out.
Yeah, it's good. I just followed you, so let's definitely connect. I would love to get together.
Okay, sounds good.
So Jessica, before I let you go, can you tell us how to get a hold of you?
Yeah, the easiest way is probably my first name, last name, Jessica Kizorek @gmail.com. That's my personal email. And I'm about 700 emails behind right now from my vacation, so bear with me. But yeah, that would be the best. Jessica Kizorek, my full name, at gmail.com.
And again, thank you everyone for being here. And this is another episode. This is our episode 28 of Empower Yourself Monday. And we will have the replay on. And also we have it on Twitter Live right now too. So, and if you want to be on any of our upcoming Empower Yourself Monday, please DM us. And we will send you a Calendly invite just to see what the date is are available, because we are pretty much booked. But again, we appreciate everyone for being here. And Emily, you have a great day, and Terry, have a great day, and Jennifer, Brent, support, and
See you,
Leah.
Tonya. Have a great one.
Bye everybody. Jessica, I'll talk to you on Facebook. Bye everybody. Have an awesome day. We appreciate you.